morning all, how are you? So it's Friday morning, just did my work, I had my cold shower. So it's doing my book review. So this time it's still the same book, but the chapter I am on now is from Blair Singer, Sales Dogs, Rich Dad Advisor. And so I remember about, 6, 7, 8, 2009, I went for his course called Sales Dogs. So he talked about, you know, formula is really easy. Sales equals income. No sales equals no income. Really straightforward. And I think the most important thing about him, he said that as an entrepreneur, your ability to sell, it's one of the most important thing in the world. Simply because, as his formula says, sales equals income. So no sales equals no income. And there's a few things that I wanted to share today, which I thought really stood up again, besides doing the course really early. And I'm going to go through here. Skills that are essential for entrepreneurs but not taught in school. Number one, willingness to make mistakes is by far the most important skill, simply because you need to embrace the learning experience. And you also need to fight with your inner voice, over the fear of rejection, over the fear of failure. So that's one thing that, as you know, across all my videos I always talk about, and it's something that I'm also going through, and I believe everyone goes through it. So learning to embrace mistakes and the lessons they hold is as critical as learning not to fear making them in the first place. Once you make a mistake, you end up having to deal with it one way or another. However, the fear of making one has at times paralyzed me from making any decision at all. That fear causes stress, confusion, worry, self-doubt, and a host of other elements that simply rob you of your dreams. Pretty cool. So second one, most important business skill by far is the ability to sell. So I already mentioned that. From the ability to generate income, allocate resources, recruit great partners and team players, negotiate, and the ability to get others to buy into your goals and dreams. There are many who consider sales to be dirty work. Sometimes they would choose to avoid. Why? Probably because their fear of rejection and embarrassment. As he says, I've never seen a successful entrepreneur that could not sell. So talking about sales, it's about finding what problems a person has, and if you can deliver a solution to it, and you can add a lot of value beyond what they are expecting, this is when you create really good value, and that's where you're able to sell a lot easier. So that's number two. Number three, the second most important skill is the ability to recruit and build a championship team. Unless you yourself have not played sports when you were younger, learning to lead and teamwork is really, really important, especially in business world. You can't do everything alone. Yeah, you may be a Superman, but you reach a point where there's only so much time we have, and we need to leverage on people's expertise to complement you yourself in the team to be great. Okay, so championship team. And fourth, he says, which my favorite, as an entrepreneur, I learned that you have to learn how to teach. Why? Because the skills of business are not well taught in school. Therefore, you have to teach your team how to sell, how to cooperate, how to succeed. He considers this to be one of the most underplayed skills in business. Those leaders who are great teachers build incredible team and organization. Teaching is something that I personally love. I find that in the years of my entrepreneur reading and studying, teaching, empowering people has the amazing ability of internalizing what you're teaching and what you're learned, and this sort of reinforces your belief in what you are actually saying, and it also keeps track of yourself on what's it called, to reaffirm what you're teaching is right, and therefore you will do a lot of research to make sure all the facts are correct. you know, we still make mistakes, but at least we learn from it. And you know, I think when we make mistakes, you need to be open about it. You know, otherwise it will just keeping inside you. Yeah. So number 5, which is pretty interesting, which everyone already knows. I would say that learning how to win the war between your ears is critical in this age. Learning how to manage your emotions, psychology, and personal development is not an option, it is mandatory. As things get more complex, emotions tend to rise and intelligence can drop. So IQ, so-called EQ high, IQ low. So if you get emotional, your IQ actually drops. Yeah, because all your fears comes in. My doubts and my fears has paid me back millions of times. So I think if we can think logically, during stressful times, that staying calm is one thing. If you get emotional, start shouting, start yelling at people, start blaming, how does that feel? The other, you feel agitated, and the other person will feel bad or sad or something like that. I think that's something that everyone wants to gain a bit more self-control, and life will be slightly better. Yeah. So if you control yourself, you control your little voice. That's one of the learning lessons here. The next part he talked about was he shared my most important lessons for entrepreneurs. Bad partnerships usually end up let me repeat that. Bad partnerships have led to finding great partners and powerful lessons. Yeah, you learn. So on the topic of learning from your lessons, and then because of that, you start looking for a new partner or a few team player to complement that, and you don't make that mistakes again. So thank you very much, and I'm gonna end it here. Okay, see you, and we'll chat more on the next lesson. Bye.